Hi, my name is Gabriel Ettinson and I'm a physical therapist in Colorado. I'm here today with Matt Nasta, personal trainer and massage therapist with TrueAbility Performance, also in Colorado. For the last 10 years, Matt and I have been working with whole body vibration equipment. We're here today to do a comparison review between the Hypervibe G14 and the Zaaz 20K. To begin the comparison, we're going to start by looking at the overall structure of the machines, beginning with the Zaaz 20K. The first thing we're going to look at is the weight of the Zaaz 20K. Weight is an important factor with vibration platforms because it relates to the strength and stability of the materials used to drive the platform. We generally want to feel the majority of the weight in the base. When I move the Zaaz 20K, I don't really feel as if it's being weighed down by the base. It feels as if the weight is evenly distributed. This suggests potentially that the materials are fairly light in weight and maybe less durable. The next thing that we're going to talk about is the side rail system that the Zaaz 20K has incorporated into its design. While certainly something that might create a bit more stability for the machine, it has other aspects to it that are less desirable. The first thing is essentially the fact that when the user is on the machine, because of the side rail system, they're going to have the tendency to want to grab onto the rails. One of the key advantages of vibration platforms is the ability to improve balance and stability. When the user is in the side rail design, they have the tendency to hold on. This basically reduces the benefit for the user. The other main issue with the side rail system is that it prevents the user from performing exercises from the side of the machine. There are a tremendous number of exercises to be done on vibration platforms. A number of those exercises, as I said, are eliminated because there's only one point of access to the machine. The issues with the side rail system for exercise are not limited to lower body exercises. There's also issues with the upper body exercises. For example, the push-up. Matt, why don't you go ahead and do a push-up? As you can see with the push-up, as Matt lowers himself down, his elbows are confined by the side rails. This forces him to change the position of the exercise, and that reduces the benefit of the exercise itself. One thing you'll also notice here with a push-up, and leading into the next discussion of the design, is the straight upright tower. As Matt does the push-up, besides being confined by the side rails, he's also hitting his head into the tower. The only way to avoid that from happening is to move backwards, which would essentially take his hands off the plate. That also would reduce the benefit of the exercise. We also see the issues with the upright tower design with a lower body exercises such as the squat. The squat is one of the most important exercises that you can do on a vibration platform. As you can see, when Matt lowers himself down, the panel is blocking his chest, forcing him to lean back. The only way to avoid that is by grabbing the handles once more and leaning backwards. Again, we bump into the obstacle with the person using the side rails and also change the position of the exercise, which reduces its benefit. Finally, we're going to look at the display of the Zaaz 20K. Matt, do you want to start the machine up? The Zaaz 20K has a standard LCD display, and there's a number of things on the screen. The first is the program sections. We have several different programs: massage, therapy, and training, but we also have sweeps. Not really sure what sweeps means in the world of exercise. It's a bit vague. Outside of that, we also see the health center on the bottom, which is essentially just an LCD light that moves back and forth with no real indication for what that means and how it's adjusted when the person's exercising. And then we also see on the other side of the machine is steps, pulse, and calories being counted as the machine operates. This, combined with the heart rate monitor, would suggest that there's an aerobic benefit to this machine. But as most research has shown, this is a resistance exercise. And while it is beneficial, it's not an aerobic training tool. This is a bit misleading for the customer in terms of what they can expect out of the machine. Now we're going to move over to the Hypervibe to discuss the similar features of this machine. The first thing we're going to look at is the weight of the machine. Unlike the Zaaz 20K, when I move the Hypervibe G14, what I notice is that it's really weighted down by the base. This is the way it's meant to be, and that's because the materials used on the inside are steel construction. This suggests that the machine is a bit more durable than the Zaaz 20K. One of the other features of the Hypervibe G14 is the lack of side rails, which is more of an open design. This is very important because it eliminates a lot of the issues we saw with the Zaaz 20K when it comes to performing exercises. So the first advantage of that design is the ability to access the machine from the side. An example would be the side step up that Matt's performing. This exercise and a number of other exercises are now available to you, unlike with the Zaaz 20K, because of that side rail system they've put into the design. Now we'll look at the push-up, which we looked at with the Zaaz 20K. As you can see now with the open system, Matt has no issue performing the exercise properly. His elbows are allowed to extend to the side, and he's getting the most out of this exercise. The open design of the Hypervibe also includes the offset tower. So when we look again at the squat exercise, where we saw Matt having an issue with the tower on the Zaaz 20K, here he's able to perform the exercise properly without any issues related to the tower hitting his chest. With the open design, we also see that there are handles, so the user does have the ability to hold on if they're nervous or are concerned at all about their balance and stability. Now we'll look at the screen of the G14. What's unique about the Hypervibe G14 is that it uses Bluetooth technology for direct communication between the tablet or smart device and the machine itself. When we look at the software itself, there are a tremendous number of options. We either can start with a manual setting or we can go into the preset programs. When we look at the preset programs, we see several different categories: active aging, weight loss and fitness, women's health and beauty, performance and recovery, and relieve and revive. What's also nice about this is because it's technology-based, there's the ability to constantly update the programs without needing new components or new displays. What's also important here is that we don't just have categories, but we also have multiple programs within those categories. For example, strong and stable. This is for balance and strength training, obviously, but it's a beginner, an intermediate, and an advanced level, which allows you to select the most appropriate level for wherever it is you're at in terms of fitness and capability. Finally, when looking at the display of the Hypervibe G14, Hypervibe has included an actual model within the programs to show you how to do the exercise properly. As you can see here with a warm-up exercise, the individual on the screen is moving side to side, giving proper instruction to the user. This is very important because it makes sure that the person gets the most benefits without injury. There's very little room for error when you can follow a guide. Moving on, we're going to look at the performance of the machines. Performance is the most important thing, and specifically what we're looking at is the G-force of the machines. G-force is a concept unique to whole body vibration and really what sets it apart from other forms of exercise. The reason that G-force is so important is because it relates to the amount of force the machine is placing on the body, and therefore the extent to which your body responds. Whether it be muscle, bone, circulation, or your lymphatic system, they will always adjust according to that force. What most people read about when they're researching whole body vibration is the concept of frequency and amplitude. Both of those areas relate to the amount of G-force the machine produces. Because these machines are very similar in their amplitude, we're going to focus on frequency and look at each machine separately in terms of that specification of the machine. We're going to start by looking at frequency on the Zaaz 20K. Zaaz advertises their peak frequency at 15 Hertz. However, when you're looking at the display and setting your program, the only option you have to adjust is speed. Speed is a very vague concept and has little to do with whole body vibration clinical research. Given the fact that the research is so heavily focused on frequency, and the fact that Zaaz makes claims about the benefits of their machine, I can't really wrap my head around why they've chosen to use speeds. Matt is currently at speed 52 of 99. In order to understand how this relates to frequency and therefore what benefit the user might be getting from the machine, they need to relate to a specific chart provided by the Zaaz company. The chart is designed to show you how each speed relates to a particular frequency. But by using 99 speeds, they're adjusting the frequency in increments. I really can't understand why they would do this other than to deceive the customer into believing that the machine is far superior because it achieves higher levels of speed. Once again, the Zaaz 20K openly advertises their peak frequency at 15 Hertz. Why would they not just choose to show Hertz when it's such an important component to understanding the benefits of vibration? The Hypervibe G14 is named the G14 because it achieves 14 Gs. That's the G-force. and it does that by adjusting its frequency. The Hypervibe G14 has the ability to go up to 25 Hz. This is nearly double the frequency range of the Zaaz 20K. When we look at the clinical research, we see that it's absolutely important to achieve these high frequencies to achieve the strength and power benefits of vibration. Those benefits would not be clinically supported on the 20K because of its limitations. Looking at the display, we don't see any kind of speed settings. We very clearly see Hertz. And as Matt is adjusting the machine, you can see he can easily get to 15, but then he goes beyond. He's going to understand exactly what type of benefits to expect based upon the frequencies and the research that supports those settings. That concludes the review of the Zaaz 20K and the Hypervibe G14. I would leave you to make your own conclusions, but I think it's quite clear that the design discrepancies and the performance discrepancies paint a much better picture for the Hypervibe G14 than the Zaaz 20K. Based upon those discrepancies and the clear attempt to modernize the technology by Hypervibe G14, you would assume that the price would be vastly different. However, it's not the case. They're the same price. Understanding whole body vibration can be extremely challenging. Hopefully now you are informed and can easily be able to understand the differences between two of the leading platforms on the market.